Hello and welcome. This is an evening with the gang, and well, there's not much of the gang here tonight. It's just me and Vincent at the moment. You never know. Someone might pop in later, and I might learn how to talk later as well. It could happen. Hello, and we did have Ickle Pete in and Mickle Pickle, but I think Mickle Pickle has to go. He's got to go and get his daughter from school and take her to work. That's what we like to hear, making them go out and earn. But he'll listen in the car, so you probably listen. Even you can't. I don't know why I'm waving because you're listening in the car. You can't hear, but you can hear, but you can't see. I need to sleep. So, Vincent, hiya.
Hello, evening everyone. Right, quickly pop out the chat and actually close.
Mark Scale Model's in as well. So, hi, Mark. And Mr. Loft Model Making is in, saying evening everyone, but he's here to talk to them.
Yeah,
using real language as well. So, now Gaz is in as well, Gaz Vickers and Sergeant Bone. See, all the people are coming in to watch, and they're just coming in to watch me because it's just me and Vincent.
Hey guys, evening Sarge.
And as well.
People though.
Sorry, Vincent. What was that?
Weren't we expecting more people though?
I'm always expecting more people, but people don't come along, and
yeah, life, I guess.
There's lots of these live shows happening through the different groups, but it's one of those things.
Not everyone can make it.
Not everyone can or wants to or is available or But that's fine. If anyone wants to come in from the group, from the gang, come and join us. If you're not, don't. It's fine. If you want to pop into the chat, even say hello. I know Ted was around, but isn't set up for streaming at the moment, so he was going to watch it, but he's probably not here yet, so no point in saying hello yet. Shane Youngs is in. Hello, guys. Hope all are well. Yeah, I'm all right.
Oh, yes. Phone pinging off there.
Beeping noises. That's right. Ted saying he hasn't got his trousers on, so he can't come on camera. That's fine. Yeah, so I haven't been doing anything all week, I don't think. I think I've done nothing. Yeah. Nothing model making related. I've been doing the R2, and I had the test issues of the Build Your Own X-Wing, which were quite good. Video of that up's on the channel.
Haven't had a chance to watch it. How did you like it?
It's quite long. I thought it would just be a quick. It's only the test issues. It'll only take a couple of minutes to do it, and the video's like nearly an hour long now. But it is all 5 issues, so it's not so bad. It's only 10 minutes each. Yeah, it's good. The quality did seem to go down. The 5th issue was not what I was hoping for and not what I expected. I've got it put away actually. The little R2 that sits in the back is basically complete now. But the 3rd middle leg is just a bit rubbish. It's got dodgy seam lines down the middle, and it just doesn't look quite right.
Yeah, so they probably gave up on that one, basically. Well,
apparently it is a full run in America, and it is the same part as people have been saying on Facebook and things. So I don't know. It's going to be. You're not going to have it out. It's going to be sitting in. You can't see the foot. But that's sort of not the point. If they put the foot on, they should do it properly.
There might always be people who have it out, like running around on the back of it or something like that.
Well, yeah, that's right. But it's not quite right because the legs are straight down and the middle foot is obviously in the middle. Whereas normally you'd be leaning backwards with the legs, if the central foot's out.
Right. Yeah, but that's where stuff like shapeways and whatnot comes in, right, with 3D printed.
But then again, you can't, because he's got to sit in the back of the cockpit, then you can't have him positioned anywhere else because then he wouldn't fit in the back of the... Yeah, it's obviously things they can do and change, but they do what the best they can, I think. Sergeant Bones says he's doing research right now, trying to find all the mistakes in the Trumpeter 1/16th Panther. If you have to look for them, what's the point?
Yeah, but if it's if it's your build and you're that kind of guy that goes for the accuracy, it'll nag.
Yeah, but it's like when people find errors in films and stuff. If you have to pause it and zoom into it to find it, then why bother? Just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, true enough. But then if you do get like you get these articles revealing mistakes in movies and stuff like that, and then you watch that movie again and you're like, hey, Adidas sneakers.
Yeah. I mean, there are certain. I can't remember what film it was, but there was one film, like a historical something, that had a helicopter in the background on one shot or something, or radio antennas that hadn't been invented for 300 years. But you don't know. I didn't notice them when I was watching the film, but obviously now you see them, and yeah.
I think it was in Troy that someone was still wearing his sneakers on set.
Oh, it could be. There was something in one of the big films that someone was wearing a baseball cap or something. I've been one of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh.
Someone was wearing a baseball cap in a
He's
street
wearing
scene.
a hat, I suppose. I mean,
It's like, yeah.
And there's famously Russell Crowe who was wearing his wristwatch during the Gladiator.
Oh, right, yeah, yeah. I do notice things that things change for like when the film gets flipped, and it's like you were wearing it on the other wrist, or
You're right, yeah.
I do often notice things like that.
Continuity errors, yeah.
Sergeant Bone says it's a question of being what they say it is. It's missing some stuff from what they're advertising it to be. Yeah, that'll give you that. That's definitely worth mentioning and having a go at. But yeah. Shane Young says just finished the Bell Kit's Opal Manta. Got to be the best kit he's ever put together. Okay, that doesn't sound like it's going to be a great kit, but obviously, I think it just went together properly and
just Belgian kits. I mean, that's what it stands for. You know.
Matthew Birtles is in. Hello, peeps. Evening. Yeah. So, not much happening really. So I've done very little on the actual bench this week. I've still got the Tyre Striker and the U-Wing to do, which are my current build. But yeah, just haven't really got the oomph. Waiting for Telford now. Telford on this weekend. So on Sunday, I'm at Telford.
Yeah, I'm not going to be there this year, sadly enough. I was hoping to make it a weekend with the missus, but you know, time and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it doesn't always happen, does it? But yeah, so if anyone watching is down at Telford on Sunday, I'll be there. I'll be either wearing this my official Gross Models hoodie, or probably the E Models jacket. So you'll recognise one or the other. Come and say hello, because I won't recognise you from the names on the thing unless you're wearing a big sign with your screen name over the top. I won't recognise you, but hopefully you might recognise me. Come and say hello. That's it, really. What you been up to, Vincent? You been doing much?
Yeah, just switch to the bench cam. I've basically been working on Warhammer figurines. You know, been doing some Age of Sigmar stuff.
Hang about. So I can still talk without it snipping back out here.
On...
Now I get confused as to now Warhammer. I've been told I must do, and Fox bought me a Turek tank thing, which is 40k.
Right.
And the thing that I've been doing, the Elder Raider, is 40k. But this Sigmar thing's different, isn't it?
The Sigmar is a classic fantasy type inspired game, like you know your Lord of the Rings sort of.
Right. So it's the 40k is the army thing, and this is the sword and sorcery thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That's where it comes down to. You won't get well, you can get weapons that do explosions, but you know your blast radii are going to be about magic spells rather than actual booms.
Right. But the figures are more Lord of the Rings-esque.
Yeah, I mean...
what's that gold thing?
This is catapult.
Oh, right, yeah, like a scorpion thing or something, yeah.
4-barreled. I mean, you know, you like this, you get some big boom guns as well, but mostly it's stuff like, you know... let me see. They do look horrible at the moment because I just shaded them. I need to put the color back in.
Yeah, Sergeant Bones says, lucky get have fun there. Yeah, I intend to have fun. I'm only going there one day, but I went one day last year and it was quite a lot to see, and it was a bit overwhelming last year, but hopefully this year will be a bit more knowing what I'm doing when I'm there. Sergeant Bones says, don't dwarves have guns?
It should be. I've never really looked into the Dwarven faction. I'd have to check that out. Because currently the whole team is it's the Night Haunts, because the new starter kit is these guys versus you know, the Stormcasts versus little ghosts and ghouls.
All right, cool. Jerry B says, sup VNC, and he asked me if I've thought about my next E-Models build. I keep thinking about it and then not finding anything that I want to do. Pretty much once I've done the Striker and the U-Wing, it's going to be the next thing I do, and I really need to find something. But I don't know. I keep looking through and seeing. I mean, it's pretty much going to have to be 144 scale because I say I've done a plane. I've just done a boat. I'll have a look around and see.
Hey, you could dip your toes into 172nd, because it's.
I could. I mean, I've done other scales.
144, so I mean,
I've done other scales, but I'd have to get a new logo and new branding, and it just wouldn't work.
Right. That brief moment off brand, it wouldn't work for you.
Jamie Bone says, "Is Ted okay?" Yep, he's getting there. He's back home. And he said he was going back home, and then I didn't hear from him. But I think he's back home now. So yeah, I think he'll be back on the show Monday. He's planning on going to Telford on Sunday. I think he's got a lift there, but I'm not sure if he's got a lift home again. So he might still be in Telford on Monday. I'm not sure.
Yeah, his daughter and granddaughter are helping him out.
Yeah, his daughter said she'd take him there, but she didn't mention anything about bringing him back. Ray from Malta's in. Hello, my friends. Hope you're good. Yeah, all good, Ray. Thanks. And Dad's in the chat. Come and join us in the live thingy. I know your camera's working. It was working a little while ago. Come and join us, because otherwise we'll get really bored and have to start, talking. Yeah, that was that. So yeah, I might have a look at other scales, but it's difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you've settled into your groove, I guess. With the
I don't want to say it's what I'm known for, but it's sort of what I'm maybe getting a little bit known for.
Yeah,
if you start putting yourself into a
niche,
probably the word I'm looking for. Then if you start confusing people by going and doing other things, and what with E-Models wanting to find a few more builders,
right, and you've got your non-E-model stuff to dabble with other scales anyway, so yeah, might as well. Yeah, true enough.
Yeah. Darren Strides in, hello. And Ray Sanner over. Oh, Smooth's in as well. Evening, Smooth. Everybody's just saying hello now. So, yeah. Apparently, we've got 19 viewers. So, as Fox normally does his normal thing, if you're not watching on the actual YouTube, click the little button down there, I believe, to get to YouTube. I don't know if it's. I don't think you can watch it anywhere other than YouTube, because it's not like the E-Models thing that's streamed to their page. But join the chat. Make sure you got the proper app running on your mobile device or computer or whatever, and come and say hello. I haven't been counting how many people are actually in the chat and how many people it says are watching. So you might all be in the chat already. If you are, hello. If you're not, come and join the chat, because it gives us something to talk about. If you've got any questions or anything for me or Vincent about static graphs applicators, then by all means ask him about that.
Is that my niche now? Building static.
That's your niche, static graphs applicator. That's it. Yep. And apparently the Sigma Warhammery things.
Don't forget the tanks. I mean, there's a.
And no, you don't do them anymore. It's fine.
I hope I still do, because otherwise I've got a pretty massive stash going to waste for the next few years.
Well, that's right then. It's sort of, you're not nice to have a stash, but you don't actually have to work on it, do you? That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, but then you end up expanding on the stash because you need more stuff to actually work on. So,
well, you could just get stuff to work on and not pile it up in the background.
Oh, that's steady. Yeah, that could work. Evening, Smooth, or morning? Morning would probably work as well.
Probably morning. Good evening, Jen. 2 seconds, just set my screen up.
It's not more. What are you on about morning? It's definitely evening.
It's evening, but it's the morning of the evening of the different time zone.
Yeah, but you can tell what time it is by looking out the window.
Yeah, it's usually dark o'clock.
We've got Swigging Pig says, hello, new listener, just lurking in the background. Lurking is perfectly acceptable, but it's much more fun to join the chat, because then we can talk to you and you can talk to us. And
Swigging Pig, that's quite cool. Cool, good.
So we've done me and Vincent. What have you been doing, Terry?
Well, I've been doing that for a while. I'm cracking on with the Peterbilt.
Oh, it's the big truck thing, isn't it?
A lot of it, I've tested a lot of it out for LEDs and that for placement and fitment. And you shouldn't leave me alone for 5 minutes with electricity. Because I'm making a little disco I don't know if you can make out the flashing lights.
Oh, right, yeah.
But it's a chasing sequence and that. So, yeah, I played about making a little disco thing. So.
Okay, what was that for? Is it for anything in particular, or just
it was for me practicing with decade chips and just a bit of fun. I'm going to make little speakers and turntables and.
Oh, right. So it is actually a scale disco.
Yeah, it's just a bit of fun. But I'm at the stages. I'm just like wet sanding all the big truck bits and all that. So yeah, it's fun in games.
Waiting around for bits to dry off.
Well, I've got my Quack and my RZ as well to put clear coats on, but apologies. Yeah.
At some point, I will be getting back to that bike as well, Teddy. Some point, but not now.
It's turned out the paint colours turned out quite nice. It shows up quite green sometimes.
Oh, Ray says hello, Terry.
Oh, Ray from Malta.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've kind of got. I'm a better doing it on the bench. I'm better doing it on. I've kind of got all the what they call the tins and all that all sprayed up and decaled and everything. So I've just got to put a lacquer coat on them. So that's for that one that I've got the chrome frame on. So, but yeah, it's getting out to the spray booth again.
I thought that was Thunderbird 2 when you pulled it out. I thought,
what, with the green colour?
just the green colour on the shape of the front of it. The backwards tank looked like the front of the nose.
Yeah, aye.
Now you've given Smoo a new idea for his next build then.
What's that?
Building Thunderbird 2, mate.
A scratch build of Thunderbird.
I like the look of some of that Thunderbird kits. Like,
yeah, and the nice thing about those Aoshima kits, they're not not prohibitively expensive. They're an okay price.
they told they're a little bit toy-like. You know, some
It depends.
on them and
It depends. The bigger ones are okay, but if you get like the Tracy Island, that gets toy-like because.
see, I would have been hoping that would have been a good one, the Tracy Island.
Yeah, but you're working on, it's only that. It's basically
Well,
Yeah.
If it's toy-like, then you just have to work that much harder and make it look more realistic, don't you?
Mm-hmm. There was a Space 1999 one with all the tiny wee Eagle transporters, weren't there?
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that somewhere.
Didn't realise that was quite as small.
Yeah,
that was
Tracy Island is about the same size. From what I've remembered seeing it. I've only seen it once on the show. Actually assembled.
Oh, Ray says hello, Vincent, as well.
Yeah, so most like the moment I'm trying out different wiring for different upcoming projects because I'm going to try and light a car up and stuff like that. So yeah.
When you do lighten a car up, I assume you put headlights on it.
Headlights,
and brake
indicators,
lights and stuff.
reverse lights.
Do you put like a light in a dashboard or something like that, or?
I try and backlight. Well, I'm trying it on the my Peterbilt. I've actually got it. I've sectioned off the back of the dash because it's white plastic. If it was black plastic, I would have cut little holes out for lighting the dash up, and light blocked it so that when the lights come through the back, it glows through the white plastic. So I'm trying to Peterbilt first, but yeah, aye.
Right, Sebastian has a question. He says, "Hello there. Just started building some Bandai Star Wars model kits." And oh no, that's the one. The one above was the one I was meant to read. But
very subtle, Chris. Very subtle.
Sebastian started building some Bandai model kits, and my videos have helped him a lot. Great work. Thank you very much, Sebastian. But the one I meant to read was from Darren, who said, "What would be the must-haves for types of paintbrushes to start off with?"
What
you're painting and everything, really. I know the ones that a lot of the guys like are the Army Painter set.
Yep.
I like the Army Painter set, yeah.
Yeah, this is what most of my brushes are as well. I've got, for the smaller stuff, I've got a couple of Sable brushes, but yeah, this set basically. And
that's the one.
That's the one.
Armor brush and mega brush set, yeah.
And
you need a couple for detail, a couple for sort of wider big bits and brushing and stuff. So
general range, wide flat brushes for covering areas, and then
I mean
soft brushes and
the wide flat ones are marketed as small and big dry brush, but you can perfectly use them to base shade as well.
Just a mixture. Detail brushes up through to a mid-range brush if you want a bit more coverage and that. You know, it's just a, as I say, that set is really, really good. It's only about 30 quid.
Yeah, and you get
And
this
you get-
one thrown in for free, this Kolinsky brush.
Yeah, it covers all the bases, that one.
Mine needs a bit of a clean, but
And it's available at eModel stock. No, I don't think it is actually.
I think it was, actually.
I think they have had it, but they haven't had it last time I looked for it. So no.
Something like that. I mean, I've tried lots. Even the wee Humbrol sets are all right for the money.
I must admit, I picked up a couple of the small humble sets, like the 4 or 5 brushes of a particular type. The one I did get recently was that one,
Oh,
Also- which are
actual artist brushes, are they?
yeah, basically, but they go. There's a 4.0, a 3.0, 2.0 in a couple of different styles, in like a fine detail and a rounded tip and
Yeah.
flat, and they're basically quite small scale. But for my scale of painting, I like small brushes.
You can't go wrong with
So I think
sets
that,
like
I think that was only like sort of 12 quid or something on Amazon.
yeah. And ones I particularly like are these Tamiya ones.
I had a few of those, but they didn't seem to last very long.
Mine have been fine all the while because they're set like a
well,
calligraphy brush. So I think you get an amazing amount of control with it though, because of the way the
Oh, you can load it up.
yeah.
Yeah, I must admit, I did get them a while back before I really knew what I was doing. Not that I really know what I'm doing now,
Mm.
but before I knew less than I know now. So I probably just wrecked them.
Yeah, they do that. They have quite a body to them, so they do slurp up a lot of paint. If you're not careful, you will have it up the ferrules before you know it.
I mean, even something as basic as the Humbrol ones, you get the green ones. I don't know if they're the basic, and then you get the red ones, which seem to be slightly better. You pay a £5 and you get about 4 brushes, but I mean, I can paint just as well with a Humbrol brush as I can. I haven't tried the really fancy ones, but as army painter ones. But it's when you're going fine detail, you need the sable hair or
Yeah.
the Kolinsky, as Vince was saying. If you're doing tiny stuff,
Yeah, like this one, which you can't probably even see on the camera.
put your hand behind it, they'll see it.
It's a 10.0 Kolinsky, so it's literally a couple of hairs on the end.
A 10.0, yeah, that'd be pretty small. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to see that ever.
Nope, not on this camera because it's streaming over Wi-Fi, so it's good enough to throw up something and show it off. But
Yeah,
Very
that's
technical, streaming over Wi-Fi. Ooh.
no, I'm just a poor man who can't afford a second webcam, so I need to use a knackered old phone, Terry. I mean, obviously.
I've
or
only
you
got
could
one
just
webcam.
use one webcam like I use. You know, you don't have to be posh enough to.
Yeah. I suppose.
I've only got one. The other one's in my laptop, which is not all that great.
If I want to do a desk cam, I'll just
Oh,
pick it
yeah.
up and move it over.
We seem to be in
I was doing that, but it was a pain in the...
Chris.
Hello.
Model making guru is in the chat.
I see he's just popped up there. Woot, evening ladies. He says he's always.
Hiya, princess. How you doing? I like the rings. Yeah, sorry.
You've got the link there as well. You can come and join in.
Yeah. Oi,
You
oi.
don't have to stay in the chat. You're all welcome to join.
Oh, Fox had fun today in the chat with changing names, didn't he?
Oh yes, yeah. We've got the Gross Gang group chat.
All right.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
was
started
at work and
And
every few seconds my phone went off like name was changed by.
yeah,
I found a link to join this quite easily, but there was 146 unread messages.
yeah. That would be 143 of them were probably Fox changing his name to something.
All right. Aye.
Yeah.
Jamie Bones asking Fox how his Transformer builders. So we won't see Fox in this chat because he's
Is
probably
it
gone
not
now
enough?
because people are going to upset him. Yeah. So you're not down to Telford this year either, are you, Terry?
No, I was going to go, but yeah.
Next year though.
I'm going to try and get down next year, actually. It's quite a trek at this time of year as well, so I think if I was going down, I would be better hiring a car, because you don't know what the weather's going to be like in the bike, and if you're...
And you don't know what you're going to pick up while you're there to take back home.
Are bears even allowed to drive cars over in Scotland, Terry?
I've got full license, mate. Advanced driver and all that, you know.
Fox says he'd love to join in, but he now has a working surround setup and an Xbox. You know what I'm doing. He's playing Cowboys.
Cowboys. Is this the latest Team Annette game? Is it?
It's the latest game everybody on the planet's playing. Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
After the old Inspire set, Fox, because that's the one that really works well with an Xbox.
It's the one he wanted to get. He sent out the cry on the Fox phone.
Yeah,
to anybody that could possibly supply him with one. Yeah.
Yeah, because the external sound card that comes with it, you can you were able to get it separate, slightly differently packaged, but basically the same thing. And it was a lovely piece of kit.
I had one. I can't remember what it was now. It was like 20 years ago. It was one of the first sort of gaming home setup things. I don't know, Video Logic or I don't remember now, but it was quite cool. But then it just died. And he says no, he's playing Spess, so you can listen to this at the same time because you can't really do much multitasking when you're playing Red Dead because your horse rides into things and cowboys shoot you.
My brother played a horrible trick on me at Christmas. I told him I was wanting an Xbox, right? And my wife at the time got me the original Xbox and not the 360. The 360 had just come out. So I was a bit disappointed. So the following year, my brother got me an egg box and wrote 360 on it.
Yeah.
And I thought he wrapped it up in Christmas paper and everything. Shocking.
But surely the size you could tell what it,
Yeah, but I didn't know what it was, but when I opened it, but when it said Xbox 360, I was just like, okay, thanks, mate. Cheers.
You fucking get, yeah.
Yeah. It's like getting 4 candles and yeah.
I actually prefer playing my games on the PC rather than a console. I mean, I like driving games on a console. You know, like McRae's Rally or something like that. I've got that for the...
Yeah, but at that point, I'm just like bung up an Xbox gamepad to my computer.
Yeah, it's getting used to the gamepad. I'm used to using the WASD keys and the mouse for gaming.
Yeah, I used to game on PCs and things, but Xbox is just easy. It's there, you turn it on, and it's done. You don't have to mess around with anything and drivers and...
Yeah. It's even like COD and things like that. I find it easier on a keyboard to allocate all than...
To be fair, nowadays with your NVIDIA experience stuff and and whatnot, it keeps itself up to date really, because you'll get a little, you just open your GeForce Experience thing.
Yeah, I've got NVIDIA.
And then it'll say there's an update available, or you can check for an update, let it download, install it, and you're done.
See, I started off with Radeon and that, and it's...
Yeah, and you're no longer like... Back in the day, you had to go the way like Fox now had, with a built-in or an external sound card. But nowadays, every decent computer comes with a 5.1 or a 7.1 in the back.
Yeah, well, when you say back in the day, you were with that. Back in the day, I had a Voodoo card.
Oh, I remember them. That was it.
And then they brought out the Voodoo 2, and you could actually put 2 of them in the same computer and double.
3 times 8. Oh, I fancy motherboards for them.
Sergeant Bone says Chris is a lazy gamer. Absolutely. I don't want to have to come home from work and work at playing. I just want to.
Yeah, but I mean, with an Xbox or a PlayStation, you're still waiting for updates as well, and you're still waiting for updates to games. So
no, because it's always on. It updates itself, and it's just.
All right, you don't turn it off. Oh, okay.
Well, it's
3D scanning with yours, Chris.
I have, and it didn't work.
Because I was thinking
it worked a little bit, but not very well.
Were you having the printer? It was calling. It was telling me you can scan in 3D with these Xboxes.
You can. You can sort of do it on the Xbox, but it doesn't really work. But you can use the Kinect scanner. You can plug that into a computer, and it sort of works through that. And I tried it. I'll find the video file that I grabbed the video of it from the computer. I shall find it momentarily and show you. It sort of worked, but it sort of didn't work because I was trying to do it myself, and you have to sort of turn around while you're doing it because it needs to get obviously 360 views. So you're sort of trying to turn yourself around without moving and at the right speed for it to catch everything.
So it's static rather than a traditional.
It's stuck on a wall. The sensor's stuck on the wall, and you have to move around in front of it. In theory, you could take it off the wall and do that with it, but there we go. I shall hold this up to the camera, and you can see me scanned in.
Oh, that's cool. So can you use that as an avatar or something in games? Is that what the idea it is?
Well, in theory, you can do anything you like with it, but because it only got, sort of torso and didn't get hands because they obviously moved a bit while I was turning around, or it didn't catch them or whatever. So until I could figure out how to get it to work properly, I didn't really bother doing anything with it.
You could make a bust of yourself. I mean,
yeah, I did output that into the 3D printer, but I couldn't get it down to 1/4 scale. I got it down to 100th scale and printed it out, and it's about that big, but
So
it's not that great.
The 3D picture, I take it you have to convert that to an STL file then for your...
Yep, yeah. There's software on Windows that does all that anyway, but yeah. Right, let's see. Yeah, Fox says console gaming, buy game, install game, play game. Simples. Yeah. And Jamie Bone has a question. I have the Flames of War 17 PDR anti-tank troop. I'm asking as to where to find the instructions, as there are none in the box. Don't know. Who made it? Is it, or is that a PDR? I don't know. I don't know what.
17-pounder gun and tank.
PDR pounder.
Okay.
I like how I'm explaining Imperial to an Englishman.
Stalemates is a good place to try. I don't know. Flames of War, is Flames of War the company that makes the kit, or is it made by somebody that's just called Flames of War?
No.
Because originally I would try the people who make the kit site.
Yeah, the original manufacturers. I think the.
Oh yeah, it's miniatures. It's miniature wargaming, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh right, so it might be harder. I mean, do you need instructions? Is it that difficult? If it's a miniature wargaming thing, they're probably not that tough. You might be able to figure it out. Google it. I assume you've tried that.
The Flames of War 17-pounder tank troop.
There's things like the IPMS Plastic Modelling Society have an online resource of instruction manuals and decals, I think, but I don't know if it's wargaming. It's not so much a kit, so they might not have it.
I'm wondering if it's like that World of Tanks type of thing. You know, they were bringing out a lot of the small scale tanks and all that for it.
Yeah, it's 28mm wargaming basically. It's Warhammer but non-fictitious stuff.
What do you mean? Warhammer's not real? Hey, what?
Yeah,
Warhammer's
real. I'm sorry. I mean,
oh dear. Fox is all happy because he's engaged his friendship drive on with surround sound, and
that's what he calls.
It's made his Windows break or something.
Oh, that's his spaceship because it goes engaging something, and he says it's engaging friendship drive.
That's what it sounds like. It really does. It's meant to be frame shift drive.
Ah, right.
But the way it says it, it's engaging friendship drive.
Friendship drive.
1.
That sounds. I'll keep it clean.
I really should play some more Elite. Get back to Elite at some point.
I was thinking of getting it at the time, but because it's the servers that we play on aren't cross-platform and it's all different servers, I didn't see the point in me getting it to play.
Yeah, there is talk of things becoming more multi-platform and everything. With Elite, it's a difficult thing. The background simulation of the game, as in who owns planets and what factions are fighting against what, apparently covers across everything, all the consoles, all the PC and everything. But you can't fly around next to each other in the same instance.
Yeah, because it's different controls.
It's different everything. But there is talk that it might be possible at some point, and there's people working on it apparently.
Because that would interest me. If you could go, it doesn't matter what platform you've got, everybody can play the same game in the same server. It would be brilliant. It would just open it up for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can understand why they don't do it for things like COD and stuff like that, because
it's like
mouse keyboard is always going to be a bit more accurate than console controller. So it's not going to be fair pitting you against each other like that. But with things like Elite, where basically, if you're going to play it seriously, you're going to get a flight stick anyway, which you're going to get on PC or Xbox or PS4. Or...
I'm rubbish at first-person shooters. I never do well in COD. I used to play all the Half-Life. Might remember all the Half-Life different things you used to get, like, what was the standalones? There was Team Fortress, which was a team-based one, and then there was the other one that was before Call of Duty.
All right. For some reason, this things seem to be not switching anymore. It seems to be. I've not got it locked on me, but
Try clicking on one of us and then clicking off again. I had that.
Yeah, I just tried that, and it didn't. I can click on either of you, but
it's still changing for me.
Yeah, that was me just changing it. If I don't change it now, you can talk, and I'll just sit here quietly.
Yeah, it changed when Vince spoke. Yeah.
Did it change then, though?
No, it doesn't like my voice because I'm Scottish, you see.
Yeah, it changed. It changed for me.
Yeah.
What, just then or now?
I see what you're doing.
Because about a minute ago, I was clicking buttons and changing it, but I'm not anymore. So is it changing now?
Well, it changed to Vincent there, but it doesn't change to me when I'm speaking.
Yeah, because you're speaking. It won't change to yourself when you're speaking.
It should do. Normally does.
See, it changed to Chris there when Chris spoke, and it changes to you.
As long as it's changing. What about you people that are watching? Is it changing for you, or is it just stuck on me? Because I can stick it on one of them if you prefer.
Oh no.
So let me know in the chat. Is it working? Not changing at all. Sticking on Chris, says Fox. So it seems to be working for you too, but not for me. I'll just randomly click through people as we're all talking.
I do that sometimes.
Chris, the randomizer robot.
Fox is saying it's not changing at all. It's just on you.
You'll have to ride the button, says Fox. Yeah, I'm riding the buttons. Fine.
Is that a euphemism for something? Is it? Should I?
I would rather not know, Teddy. To be fair, I mean.
Yeah, right. Riding the button.
I don't know. I've not got one button though. It's just got 3 different things that I can click on each one. Now it's because I'm doing it myself. I'm changing it now. Look, I'm changing it. I'm going to predict that Terry's going to talk.
God's wallop.
See there it works. It also changes if I click the button to make it change.
I actually have to do it manually. I've had to do that before in a live. It gets a bit, yeah.
Well, luckily, we're not going to be around for a long time tonight, I don't think, because there's not much to talk about. There's not much going on. There are 22 people watching, so hello, 22 people. One of them's Fox, and he's not really watching. He's playing Space.
Any news on Tedward? Is he home yet?
He is home as far as I'm pretty sure he said he got home.
Right.
He was about earlier in chat, but he said he was going to come and join us in chat, but he hasn't. So I don't know if he's got lost on the way to the internet. But he's recovering and getting better, and going to be at Telford on Sunday.
Oh,
he's got a lift in on Sunday. So that was one of them 147 messages that you didn't read in my group.
Yeah, I've not caught up on them yet. How far are you from Telford, Chris?
Me, I am 100 and something odd miles.
Oh, so it's a good 2 or 3 hours to get there anyway with the traffic and everything.
Yeah, probably sort of 2.5 hours, I think, is what it worked out as.
You're just going on the one day?
Yes, I'm there on Sunday. I'm working on Saturday, so
all right enough. Yeah.
Even if I could go on, I wouldn't be. So no.
Fox is getting his teeth vibrating because he's got his bass on.
You shouldn't be sitting on that subwoofer, Fox. That's probably bad for you.
Beats the washing machine right enough, but yeah, I've got one of those bass port type things, and when I was gaming in the living room, but of course I stay above somebody, so it's not very nice to have the bass blasting through the floor whilst yeah.
There's times like that. I do quite like playing with headphones on because it gives you the same. You know, it's as loud as you like and nobody cares. And it is much more immersive because there's no external noises at all. It's just the game.
I used to have to do that when we were guild play, when we were using TeamSpeak and all that sort of thing, because it's like, it just gets too much.
Yeah, I've got well, mine's actually got this on the end. Just get cable, give me more cable. There we go.
Sergeant Bone helps out. It says, Jamie Bone, go to Flames of War and look it up. The instructions are online.
That's good. That's handy. That's good.
Not only have we had questions, we've solved questions. Well, we someone else has solved the questions while we were here not answering the question.
So, Chris, have you got any? You've obviously been to Telford before, and you get the different, some of the unusual kits in that coming up. Have you got anything in mind that you're maybe wanting to pick up at Telford?
My shopping list for Telford is I want to pick up some brushes, so I might well go for see if anyone's got that Army Painters pack or similar.
Because you can physically pick them up rather than looking at them on the internet.
Yeah, well, it's just easier, isn't it? You can go there with real folding money and hand it across to people, and they give you stuff and put it in a bag. The other thing I'm looking at is going to be I want to look at some of these like bust figures, not bust figures, but busts.
Yes, flesh tones, mate.
With or without flesh tones. Yeah, I think I'd have a. I mean, Paul's been doing a lot of them recently, and he's enjoying it. So I think I might pick up a couple of them and play around with.
Yeah, I've been thinking of doing maybe a military one at some point, like a Napoleonic soldier or something along those lines.
I think when the busts first started coming out, it was mostly Napoleonic figures and stuff like that, wasn't it?
That's the stuff I used to see as a kid, like the military, like, knights in armor and stuff like that. Yeah,
all the old lead tin soldiers and all that you used to have.
that, but in a bust, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I see Spids here. He says, "Hello, gentlefolk and people persons. I shall pop in for a bit." So he's going to pop in now. There you go. How's that for timing? I wonder if him popping in is going to make it work or not work.
Hello. Make what work? What's happening? What's not working?
No, it's not working. It's not auto switching anymore. So I'm sitting here.
It's still switching between you and Smooth, but it is not switching to Steve.
I can see Vincent's screen on the big screen just now.
No.
Shouldn't be able to. It clicked on you.
Whoever waved a hand there, it just moved on my screen. Yeah, it's weird.
Oh,
Google, they're doing a lot of updates because they're changing all the Creator Studio and stuff like that, and it just knocks it all to pot because they're getting ready for their 2017 release. Plus, YouTube's going on to gaming as well. I don't know how that's going to work because Twitch has got the
YouTube gaming has been around for a little while, but it hasn't really done much. But it's something about live streaming and stuff. So
yeah, the YouTube Premium stuff in it now.
That's probably it. It probably only works if you're paying for it to work.
Yeah, where you can get premium if you don't want ads, but I just get something called ad blocker and turn it on when I need to. You can buy premium to basically watch live streams, so there could be a paywall like you have in Twitch.
I'm just worried in case they take the Hangouts and make it a pay thing, but then again, it depends how they price it because. But a lot of people like modelers that live alone that use it to keep in touch. If they were taking it away and making it, concentrating on the commercial side and doing away with the Hangouts, I don't know what would replace it.
I don't think Google will take away the Hangouts because I do think they have a business model for Hangouts, as in you can actually expand it to have proper conferences on it.
Yeah.
I think they'd pretty much cripple a lot of their users if they did that, though. There's a lot of people who'd stop using.
Do that. If they're gonna do stuff with paywalls, it's gonna be premium content on YouTube, like a Patreon, but for YouTube, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Facebook have just launched their group video chat on Messenger.
Oh.
Which it seems to work, but I don't know if it's a competitor. But
the only thing is, can you stream live with it?
I don't know if you can stream it at all. I think it just happens like a messenger thing, but whether it will be something that they add in, I don't know. We'll find out.
More like a conference call than it. Yeah.
So
does that mean if we use that for live streaming, we'd all have to wear suits and use buzzwords?
Buzzword.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I'd like to imagineer this latest project.
And hashtags and So you welcome, Spid. What have you been doing? I'll see what you're doing at the moment.
I have just been frantically shopping because I got home a little bit later than intended. And I went into the kitchen to make myself a bit of food and noticed that the contents of my kitchen were in a dire state. Not even a single pot noodle, can you believe? Not a single pot noodle.
Not a single, not just the multi-packs, yeah.
Just the multi-packs, yeah. No, it was in a very dire state, and I was so I thought I'm going to have to. I've just not been very organised this week at all, so I'm going to have to do a shop. So thankfully we have online shopping here. Good old Asda delivers to your door, which is fabulous because the other choices we have in this tiny, tiny little village is the co-op or the co-op or the co-op.
Yeah, it's the same.
Or
here.
not having anything. Yeah.
And they are, or not having anything, yeah. And they are not the cheapest in the world. So they're okay. I use them for sort of consumables, fresh stuff and topping up and what have you. But the main shop, I use Asda unless I happen to be going to the big city, in which case I go to Aldi. Because
You are kind of out in the sticks, so Spidey, aren't you?
Yeah, just a little bit, I mean, Inverness, which is the nearest, well, Inverness or Fort William, are the two nearest big cities,
Really?
as it were.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. And they're like 75, 80 miles away.
All right, okay.
So
Ray says hello, Spid, and Zesta
hi,
says
Ray.
evening, chaps and chapesses, or chapettes.
Chapettes.
Chapettes, yeah.
So yes, I have been online doing a frantic Asda shop, and that's now done. And then I've been sort of dashing around tidying things up, and then I thought, oh, it's the hangouty, chatty, what's it thing, and
That's what I'm planning on calling it in the future. Yeah.
yeah, that one. Yeah, I know it just rolls off the tongue, don't you think?
Yeah. So you've done this online order, and because you're in the middle of nowhere, I assume they're going to say, yes, okay, we'll deliver it for you in March or something.
No, I think they're going to try for January. So we're not too bad. No, actually, they're surprisingly good. It's a weird thing. Sorry.
You have to pay for your delivery.
You do, yeah, but the delivery charge varies between £2 and about £5 or £6.
That's all right.
In the grand scheme of things, the way I look at it is, I couldn't get to Inverness and back on £6 of petrol.
That's cheaper than going for your shopping and ordering a taxi, isn't it? So
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't get. It would cost me more in petrol to drive to Inverness and back. It would cost me more for a bus ticket or for a train ticket or whatever. So that's the way I look at it. And obviously, the more expensive ones tend to be the weekends because more people are free Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah,
so
premium
they tend
slots.
to be £5 and £6 kind of thing. But
I
think
like
it's all very reasonable.
I do like to think that you're literally like a house on the middle of a hill with your nearest neighbour is 3 miles away and stuff like that. But
No, my nearest neighbour is actually just over the fence, but it is very sort of remote. I mean, you could.
It's quite rural, isn't it?
It's very rural, yeah. I mean, if you ever get a minute, what you could do is just hop onto is it not Google Maps? What do they call it? Oh, you can do it on Google Maps. Actually.
Google Earth, yeah.
Google Earth. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, but you can go from Maps to Street View. So yeah.
Yeah, that's right. If you go onto there, you can have a sort of virtual walk around the village, and if you walk that way up the road, you're heading towards Plockton, which is where they filmed Hamish Macbeth and parts of The Wicker Man, the original one with Edward Woodward, that kind of thing.
oh, right, yeah.
So if you head up that way, within a minute and a half, 2 minutes, you're sort of, you've got the sea on one side and just a few houses dotted about on the other, and then there's not much for about 4 miles. Then you pass through a tiny, tiny little village with a handful of houses where you might get accosted by big hairy sheep if they're out grazing. Because they have
when you said Edward Woodward, you know how Tedward has problems pronouncing Edward. I wonder how you would pronounce Edward Woodward. Edward Woodward was fitting an Edward kit to his
Zesta just said in chat, the famous ooh-ah.
Ooh-ah, yes. That's a challenge. When Ted's back on back at full strength and on the streams, that would be a good challenge for him. Set him
Edward Woodward
was building an Edward.
Well, someone will have to bring up the equalizer on.
If you're, that's a good point. Bringing up Edward, you're going to Telford, and Edward does have their stand there. If you want some 144 stuff.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We did see that last year, and Ted was there, and we got him to buy it. That was quite fun.
Yeah.
Did they have a Vallejo stand as well? Did they?
They give you the same discount as they do on the web shop during the Telford weekend. They do it on the convention floor as well, so that's quite nice.
Is this a Bonnie Club thing?
If you can show by your online login or something like that you are a Bunny Fighter Club member, you will actually get the full 20%. If not, you'll get the normal big modeling show 15%.
So would you just go with your Bunny t-shirt on?
Yeah.
The one that doesn't say Playboy on it, another one.
Yes, having a Bunny Fighter Club t-shirt would count because you can't buy them separate unless you're a Bunny Fighter Club member. Then you can buy them.
So that means if you actually, sneakily sent a load of us Bunny Fighter Club t-shirts,
yeah,
we could. Yeah. No, actually, do you think Edward actually knew when they started the Bunny Fighter Club? Do you think they actually knew the kind of bunny connotations thing of that?
I've just got to buy a Playboy t-shirt and peel the Playboy off and say Bunny. Aye.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Because it's kind of, I know they do some really good deals and everything, but I've got to admit, the first time I saw or read about the Edward Bunny Fighter Club, the first thing that popped into my head was the whole Playboy bunny thing.
The other thing is cage fighting with bunnies. Do you think that would take off? Oh, Fudge has got his bunny race in it.
That would be animal cruelty.
I mean, it's a pretty cool. And you get 2 of these in the kit, and one of them has a Bunny Fighter Racer team to it. It's actually got.
All this talk about bunnies reminded me the new favourite thing in Red Dead Redemption is just riding my horse over rabbits. Quite often, while you're riding your horse through the prairie and stuff, animals just sort of break for cover and run away from you, and rabbits seem to run in random directions. And if you run over them, you can kill them.
It's fine, mate. It's fine. You have your Red Dead Redemption moments in on your Xbox. I'll wait a year. I'll have my Red Dead Redemption moment on computer, and what's more important, I'll have it in 60 frames per second.
Yeah, but you'll have it all spoilt for you. You know the story and everything that's going to happen, and that so-and-so dies. And
I haven't read a single article.
So there's a bit of lore behind it then, is there?
Not so much lore behind it. I mean, the original Red Dead Redemption, this is set 10 years before it. So, I mean, the lore behind it is basically the Wild West.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
They do seem to. I'm not into gaming and stuff, but my ex was very into it, and my son is also very into it. So he talks to me a lot about things. He plays a lot of Assassin's Creed and stuff, which he really loves. Yeah, I know they did quite a big backstory with Assassin's Creed, didn't they, with the whole Ezio character, and then they did the sort of sequels and prequels and all that gubbins. So. Yeah, that seems to be very much a thing. Well, rather than just somebody running around shooting people.
Well, that seemed to crash out. I crashed out. I don't know if the stream kept going while I wasn't here. But
I just heard a ping and it said Gross Models had joined the chat. And
it came out with an error. Please try again later, it said, but I just clicked try again straight away and it came back.
They're doing
updates online live now, so hopefully we didn't have a break. We apologise for the interruption in our scheduled broadcast.
Usually, if the host drops out,
but the chatty thing's twitching again now. I think.
To finish off my talking point about the Bunny Fighter Club, I did notice on Sunday a lot of the actual kits are gone. There's not a lot kit wise left. There are a lot of the resin sets and the aftermarket PE still left, but when it comes to like the Profi packs, there's a lot of the options are gone.
So
you mean gone as in just because they'll be taking a load of stuff to Telford, or just not available?
No, they'll actually be taking a load of stuff to Telford, but it seems that most of the Telford shoppers are going for the Profi packs, shiny model kit kind of stuff. And then you'll have a couple of guys, probably more like me, that are snooping around in the bins because it's actually like it's sort of like going to a comic book store.
Right? When you say you're snooping around in the bins,
yeah, no, because they're sorted sort of like in a comic book store. You were there last year. It's
Okay, I thought you meant you were out the back of the convention centre rummaging through the rubbish.
Like dumpster diving.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was with Chris on that. That's what.
No, it's sorted like you would see comics at a convention. It's like parts number 1 to that.
Yeah, right. Okay, not look what they've thrown away, a perfectly good model kit, or just get rid of the bits of pizza from it.
Kind of like a bargain bin thing, like the bargain bin in your supermarket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, Sergeant Bone says it was all good. It didn't drop out at all when I dropped out, so that's not nice to know. And Mickle Pickles back in says, "Hi guys, hey guys."
Oh,
Pickles back.
So, anything else going on in anywhere?
I don't know. Have you done what Spiddy building?
Well, I'm just polishing up, as you can see, my
It's,
the cappuccino.
I was trying to think what it was called. I was thinking drink, but
trust them to build a car named after coffee.
I had well, it was a given thing. Even if I didn't like it before, before anyone knew I was a coffee obsessive.
You do know that there's a K car called the Figaro as well, right, Smo?
Oh, the Nissan, yeah.
It's quite a cute little car, actually. But those K cars are quite interesting because there's this one, and I can't remember the manufacturer name, but basically you buy the car and you can get like loads of aftermarket parts for it from the manufacturer that are just clip on. Like clip off the bumper, clip on a new one.
Oh, smart cars like that. You can change all the body panels.
Yeah, it's basically the same idea. That's where a smart car, where the idea came from, isn't it? It's Japan with their little K car.
Yeah.
That car at Spidey's doing the cappuccino, I was actually working in a Suzuki dealership when that was released. 3-cylinder turbocharged. I could only drive it with the roof off. It's that small.
They are very tiny.
Yeah,
I would love to have one. They look.
If you don't do a Japanese an import from Japan, it's going to be quite hard.
Yeah. Well, these are very hard to come by now. Anyway, there are a few imports in the UK. But they're few and far between. A lot of them are in a bit. The ones that do tend to come up for sale are in quite a sorry state and need work.
Yeah, I can remember the body panels on it. The Suzuki used awfully thin steel, and you could almost bend all the panels with your fingers.
Yeah, and it's a shame because they're a beautiful little car. I'd really like one. They're just such a cute little thing.
Hairdresser's car, mate.
Yeah, they are, but it's all good. I like them. So they're kind of like a shrunk down Mazda MX-5 is what they reminded me of.
MX-5. I still have to take the roof off to drive one of those. But yeah.
Darren says, thanks for the advice on the brushes. Really useful. We'll be picking up that army set. And Zazda says there's a small Japanese van called the S-Cargo, and yes, it looks like a snail.
Yes,
and Ted's made it to chat. He said he managed to get here.
Hey, Ted.
Ted, tell everyone in chat's been asking how you are. So do your quick synopsis on how your week's been, and make sure you're all okay again. We'll wait. It's fine.
So I'm just sort of polishing this up now. It's had another coat of lacquer clear because the first one I was actually burning through in a couple of corners. So I gave it cleaned it off, gave it another coat of lacquer clear, let that set, and I'm just now giving it the. I've done a fine polishing compound, and I'm now using the finishing compound.
Yeah, you're doing the shiny, yeah,
which I really like. So we're going for a proper full-on
shiny, yeah.
As you can see, I've got the underpan. I've got the rudimentary sort of paint on the underpan, and a couple of bits. I've got some aluminium to do, and then all the running gear, and I'm going to sort of dust that up a little bit. Just finished off the dashboard with some little highlights with the Molotow chrome pen. Let me try and bring this in a bit closer so it's under the light. So I've highlighted some little bits with the Molotow.
Are they the pedals sticking off the bottom there?
Yes, yeah.
Are they in the right place, or are they?
Yeah, right-hand drive. It's Japanese.
No, I mean they look really close to the dashboard, but.
Well, yeah, but that's just the kit. I mean, they would actually be a bit further under.
Okay.
But
I was going to say that looked really difficult to drive, but
yeah, that's how they molded.
You press the brake and you press the throttle at the same time. The pedals are that close together.
Yeah, they're actually molded as part of the dash panel. But when they're inside on the body shell, on the body top, it looks pretty right. And that's the rest of the body tub there, which I've kind of tried to do it all in what's the word, complementary colour scheme. So we've gone for little blue accents on the seat infill panels and little blue accents on the door cards, and that kind of thing to go with the whole blue of the car. So yeah, once that's in place, the pedals kind of look like they're in the right place.
Yeah, I think I was looking at it thinking the angle was different to how it really was.
It does look wrong when you just look at the dashboard like that. But that's where we're at with that one. I'm going to make some little seat belts for it out of masking tape or something like that, maybe.
It's interesting. I just got dropped.
Well, Vince got dropped as well. I wonder if
I think since apparently here twice, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
5.
I've got the hood bits there, sort of masked up, ready to spray the tops off, and that's so that one's not actually that far off now. The biggest part of it is the all the paint for the body, which has taken quite a while between coating and leaving it to dry
and getting it shiny.
And getting it shiny. Yeah.
We've got Rusting Customs models coming, saying hello, and the Orc Boys are saying evening all.
Evening.
You're both an hour late. You have to sit in the corner for detention or write lines or something.
Did they bring a note?
Note from him. Oh, yes. Speaking of which, I have a question for Vincent.
Yes.
How is it possible for one man to be run over by such a variety of vehicles?
Just
do you live in a very dangerous place?
It does. When he was listing them, it did seem like quite a long list.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there was a bicycle in there, and there's a car and possibly
bicycle when I was 11. Motorbike when I was 16, turning 17. On the first on New Year's Eve.
Has the thought crossed your mind that if this is over a period of time with different vehicles, that it's the same person who's got something against you?
I just think he's accident prone.
I'm going to say, have you learned how to cross the road yet?
Yeah. Did they not have that advertising the Green Cross Code man across in Belgium? No, remember that?
That was Darth Vader, wasn't it?
Darth Vader, yeah.
Well, first one was speeding, and the second one was because I was basically already across the road, but just the rear part of my bike sticking out, and that's basically what's saving
right.
grace.
Oh, I've been run off the road on a push bike. Yeah, it clipped my handlebars and chucked me into a bush. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was actually a 90-degree angle to him, right? Because it was a T cross.
Oh dear. Right.
Yeah. And he was coming into basically what is the town center, but he was doing 60 miles an hour easily.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, before you knew it, he was dead. And I had already crossed, but with just the rear part, very, very rear part of my bike sticking out.
Yeah.
And he just clipped it and it flung me off the bike.
Yeah.
See, I had someone driving at the back of my car last night.
Oh, did you?
Looking at the picture,
Yeah, that was great fun. I was coming home from work, and the guy in front of me stopped hard, so I stopped hard, and the guy behind me didn't stop quite hard enough. So I had that moment of, yes, I've stopped, that didn't hit the guy in front, and then why are there crunchy noises coming from behind me?
Yeah.
And yeah, but it didn't cause much damage to my car at all. It was a little dent in the boot.
Yeah.
Bit,
Yeah,
and the bottom of the bumper's a bit scuffed up, but
and also good to hear that you weren't.
yeah, I sort of woke up this morning and thought, right, can I move my head? Yes, I can. Oh, it's all right.
Right.
So yeah, all good, and he's not going to go quite so fast in future, apparently. So.
Yeah.
It's surprising the kind of result that can give you.
Sorry, what you're both talking at the same time. I couldn't hear either of you.
Were there a few expletives exchanged?
No, we were both very calm. Yeah,
That must be a London thing.
I don't get stressed anyway. There's no point. It's happened already. There's no point in swearing and shouting about things. But so we were at the side of a dual carriageway. So we both put hazard lights on and got out and had a look around. And the number of people behind that were honking and flashing lights to go round us. It's like,
How dare you have an accident and hold me up?
You inconvenience me slightly. I've got to pull over a lane. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Sergeant Bones says, "Hey Vince, want a laugh? Static grass device for professionals, starting at €60 up to €120."
The 60 euro ones, at the first glance, looks like a good buy, and then you realize the pot is only that big. because it's like, yeah, okay, that's not going to do a lot of diorama.
Oh, but you
Just
can
on,
back up
on
again.
the subject of accident stuff again, we've got. I work for the NHS, and one of the NHS has got 3 electricians that cover the entirety of the Highlands.
All right, I was going to say they've got more than that, but up there, yeah. All right.
That's three blokes with vans that cover the whole of the Highlands. Now the Highlands is a bloody big area with a lot of homes and things, and people kind of tend to think it's not that big, but if you, as soon as you kind of reach, not far past Glasgow, and you're into the Highlands proper, and if you look at it on a map, it's a huge area. But anyway, we've got 3 electricians that cover that area. Now, our guy that comes to our unit and covers our unit and the hospital next door, he a little while ago ended up with a temporary van because the nearly new, it was like, I think it was about 6 months old van that had been issued with, ended up with an electrical fault of all things, and it set on fire while he was driving somewhere. So it pulled up at the side of the road, jumped out of the van. He's got smoke pouring out of this van at the side of the road in the middle of nowhere because he's just kind of is on his way from Inverness up to wherever. And he sort of hopped out and across the road. He'd got his mobile with him, so he phoned one of the other guys from Inverness to come and help him out and pick him up and all the rest of it and report what had happened. And he said while he was sat there waiting, there were people doing the same. They were driving up and beeping because of he basically had to abandon the van that quickly and jump out because he didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
And so people were coming up there and beeping and then swerving past him and driving off. And I said, what the hell's wrong with them? You know, you stood there, you've got smoke pouring out of your van, and nobody's actually sort of stopping to say, oh, you're all right. Is there anything I can do? Or
That's a big problem these days. Nobody wants to stop and help.
Get your fire out of my way.
Beeping at him as if to say, what are you doing stopping there with smoke pouring out of your van? Did you think he was on a fag break?
Yeah.
Could be worse because in like past few weeks there's been like a handful of reports coming from Holland where there's people like, you know, first responders actually reanimating someone or doing, you know, first care.
Reanimating someone.
CPR, mate. Yeah.
CPR.
Okay. Because it makes it sound like you're bringing them back from the dead.
No, but
sounds wrong.
Technically you are. But that's sorry, I'm directly translating. That's what you would say in Dutch.
Yeah.
But anyway, you would, you know, doing CPR or doing urgent first care, and just people fucking bunching up on them and like cell phones, so that the people can't even do their work properly.
Yeah, you've got to get the film in. Has anyone called?
Just to try and get a picture or film them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to update their Instagrams and their Twitter.
That's right. It doesn't happen unless it's happened on Facebook. Fox says someone hit the back of his Landy once. Their car was written off. His Landy had a very slight scuff on bare metal component. And then he blames Autocomplete for him spelling there wrong because he used the wrong there, but blames the phone.
I actually saw someone in a long wheelbase in a long Defender today, and he was rear-ended by a young girl, probably her first car, a little bit too away.
Naughty.
Right,
Yeah, just where it wasn't the other way around.
yeah. I mean, the front of that car didn't really look all that well.
Yeah, the guy that hit me, his front didn't look too good either. He'd lost his radiator and number plate. The number plate was actually still on the side of the road. I drove past it again tonight.
Well, the front ones nowadays, especially, are designed to crumple much more easily than any other part of the vehicle, because especially with the shape of them.
But I think it's the fire brigade take all the roofs off these days anyway, just for the slightest thing. So yeah.
But a lot of vehicles now, I mean, this front and rear crumple zone thing has been a thing for a while, but because a lot of them now are very kind of MPV-ish, so you've got the option to have seats in the back and stuff.
Yeah.
So they're tending to make the front much more collapsible than the rears, even though the rears are slightly weaker and you've still got your safety cage and all that.
Yeah, I stopped off at my garage on the way into work this morning to get them a check to make sure it wasn't anything more serious than just the bumper.
Yeah.
And it said, looks like it's just a bumper. I wouldn't worry too much.
That's good. Good to know.
Skipper Ted says an old lady backed into the front of his Mini. He was quite annoyed about that.
Yeah.
And Jamie Bone says it happened to him at work a couple of weeks ago. 2 guys came in decontamination suits and people asking them for photos.
Yeah,
It's like,
Vince,
oh,
see
really
when
cool
that guy
scenery.
was,
Can I get no, I mean decontamination. Like, oh.
Yeah, they're unbelievable, aren't they?
Vince, see when that guy was reanimated, did he wake up and go, "Oh, I feel so cartoony"? Sorry, mate, I've never
Do you
heard of
remember that really old cheesy? I think it was back in the 80s. There was a horror movie called Reanimator.
Yeah,
Oh, was
that's
that?
what I thought of instantly
Yeah,
when Vincent said it. Yeah, it's sort of a remake of Frankenstein.
Yeah. Oh, I've not seen that in years. That brings back some memories.
What's your next project, Spidey, after you've done your cappuccino?
Once I've finished this, my next project, I've sort of started on a few little bits and pieces, just sub-assemblies.
We can see your wall of bikes behind you there.
This puppy right here, this one.
YZF.
YZF.
Yeah, that looks a nice bike.
That's a catchy name, isn't it?
It's really, the detail of it looks every bit as nice as the Panigale. And if you've built the Panigale, that thing just falls together.
It looks a nice machine, like.
So yeah,
it's not as catchy a name as Cappuccino, though, is it?
No.
No, it's not. It's not quite as snippy, is it? It's not doesn't sort of snap.
Doesn't roll off the tongue quite so well.
Maybe I'll give it a, I don't know, I'll give it an espresso. Yamaha
mochaccino.
Yeah, Yamaha mochaccino. Yeah. Maybe we'll rename it for the videos.
Double mocha spice latte fruit light.
Yeah, maybe not rename it that though. Yeah, decaf, half calf latte with frappa mochaccino. Yeah, so that's going to be my next one. I started a few little bits of sub-assemblies and things, but I've not gotten too heavily into that just yet. But that's once I've got this together and finished this, I'm going to, so then I can throw myself into that one fully. Because I was going to do the both at the same time, but it's
quite easy to get a bit muddled up if you're doing two bikes at the same time.
I know some people like to have like 3 or 4 things on the go, and I've tried it a couple of times, and I just end up looking at 2 or 3 piles of bits and thinking, oh, I just can't be bothered.
I've got about 10 on the go, but I tend to put the bits that I've still got to put on in the box.
Yeah, well, I think that's it. If you've got room to put them to one side, so they're out of sight, and you can focus on one thing.
Yeah, I still prefer to do one thing at a time. 2 at the top. If I've got big projects, I can do little projects in the middle. But I don't
have the room to do that really. My hobby room's actually pretty small. Obviously over there's all my paints and my kits, and then crap and junk, which kind of ends up sitting on there. They're all the clips and bits that I use regularly, but I can't have on the bench because it gets cluttered like it is now. It's just heaving junk. I've also got to repaint this at some point because I buggered this up. But this used to be an egg, a genuine hen's egg, which, with the aid of a little bit of milliput, I'm turning into a Totoro.
All right, okay.
So
Mark's molar tooth.
It's an anime called My Neighbor Totoro with this huge cuddly sort of creature.
All right, I don't do that.
It's an anime staple, Daddy. Like if you're into your anime, you need to watch it at some point.
No, I like.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's a Studio Ghibli, and you can't really go wrong with Studio Ghibli anyway. They made some amazing stuff. But My Neighbor Totoro, it's adorable. It's the cutest thing ever.
Yeah,
Fox is obviously flying between systems because he's got a lot of time to put lots of chat in.
Yeah.
He's asking if the Cappuccino was a Leyland car, would it have been a builder's T? And says you've heard of cafe racers, that's a Nescafe racer.
I like that one. Yeah,
it certainly wouldn't have looked like this if it had been built by British Leyland. Plus, it had been brown or orange or something as well. Yeah.
They weren't one for bright colours, especially.
They had some hideous colours, didn't they? They really did.
Yeah.
My first car was an Austin Allegro.
Yeah.
And it was like diarrhea brown.
Oh, an Austin Allegro.
It was really horrible colour. But
do you remember the Allegro Vanden Pla?
Oh, yes, the top of the range, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they did a Princess as well. And what they did to posh it up was they put a Rolls-Royce-esque grille on the front.
Did you just say
little raised conical thing with a shiny chrome grille. But that said, the interior was gorgeous. It actually had proper walnut dash paneling.
They were good
Door
touring
cap.
cars.
Yeah, well, they on the backs of the front seats, it had a little walnut pop-out tray. It kind of cantilevered out, and it had a cup holder on it and everything. So you could sit there and eat like a TV dinner off it. As the Austin Allegro Vanden Pla. It still looked hideous, just with a shiny chrome Rolls-Royce-esque grill.
That does sound quite weird. I think it's actually Vanderplas because it's.
Right. Well, you're probably right, Vincent, but in the UK, we always say Vanden Pla.
Not around here, it isn't.
Really? Because in America, it's Vanderplas, and over here, it's Vanderplas because it's originally a Dutch surname.
Here it's Vanden Pla. No.
Yeah, we've always said, in the UK, we've always said Vanden Pla.
So you French it up to be fancy.
Fox has got 275,000
versions
to go through against.
Princess Vanden Pla were posh versions.
I think the name comes from General Motors, I think, in America, and they used it because that was a wealthy family in the Roaring '20s.
Really? So it was actually an American source name?
Yeah,
I
because
did not know.
It was a family that was known to have fancy coachwork built Duesenbergs and stuff like that. So
right, I always assumed it was like French or Italian or something, like a designer, like Bertoni or that kind of thing.
No,
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Dutch traders family moved to New York, became stupidly wealthy. Yeah.
Right. Well, you learn something new every day. There you go. Come and watch a modelling show and you learn the origins of
it's a bit like
posh car names.
Yeah, it's a bit like Rockefeller and stuff like that. It's those kind of families.
Oh, cool. That's interesting stuff.
What Americans call old money.
Yeah, we're still going to call it Vanden Pla.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, it's the first time I've ever heard anyone. I mean, I've heard Americans say Vanden Plas, but
yeah, the Americans actually pronounce it quite close to the Dutch. But then again, New York was a Dutch colony for.
It was, yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, the east coast of America was I mean, it was Dutch, it was Irish, it was a whole mixed bag of settlers, wasn't it?
True enough.
But no, I always assumed that when Americans said Vanden Plas, I always thought it was like that affectation, like we'd say Ducati and they'd go Ducati, and
No, no, because it's quite close how to pronounce it. But then again,
who'd have thought the Americans would get it right?
in Pennsylvania, there's an accent, and it's sort of related to the Mormon dialect, and it's called Pennsylvania Dutch, which is actually sort of recognizable if you're a Dutch speaker.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. Timber says aluminium.
But that's a different thing.
Aluminum.
Because they spell it differently. They don't just say it. It's not that they just say aluminum. They
apparently
aluminum.
Yeah.
We changed it because it fitted in with all the other periodic table things and all that sort of stuff.
It's aluminium on the continent. Everywhere you go on the continent, except for Jordan needs aluminium as well.
Yeah.
It's aluminium.
The Americans actually spell it aluminum.
Yeah, but they spell colour wrong as well.
And
they do, yes.
Plus, they solder wires together rather than soldering them.
Oh, solder! That one bugs me. It bugs me mainly because kids, well, in particular my son, but kids in general, get so much stuff from YouTube, which is great as a learning resource, provided you stop them clicking on the questionable videos. But the problem with that is more sort of recently, as my son's been getting interested in sciencey things and electronic experiments, he's been watching a lot of build videos of like Kipke and that kind of thing, which are quite entertaining. And we're having a conversation, and he keeps saying solder, and it's like, no, it's solder. So it's got an L in it. It's solder. And my mate down in Sheffield, it really winds him up when he's talking to me. He's like, every time he says it, he's like solder. Solder.
Sergeant Bone says he's pointedly ignoring these rude remarks towards Yanks. Yeah, but you're basically German now, aren't you? It doesn't.
There's the thing, Sarge. So back to Van den Plas. So you would have said Van den Plas in the US. Would you pronounce it the same in Germany?
Ah.
Yeah.
Timber says mirror, and apparently they pronounce that as Maya.
Mirror.
Mirror.
That's not really saying a different word. That's just an accent thing, though, isn't it? It's not.
Mirror.
Yeah.
Everything in German sounds aggressive, to be fair. I mean,
Yes. It doesn't mean
the word for butterfly alone is such a great example. Butterfly, and we say in Dutch it's vlinder, which is like a soft and nice and cuddly word. And then in German it's Schmetterling. It's like, what? Don't kill me.
Like German, I love you. Ich liebe dich. All right, okay, pal. Right, yeah.
It is. It's a very sort of guttural and aggressive language, isn't it? Whereas with French, you could be insulting somebody and it sounds like...
It sounds like you want to take them to bed, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Fox says PSA to American viewers, herb. Because they don't like H's. Herb with a hard H at the beginning.
Not herb.
Not herb.
Herb.
Yeah, but we drop H's around in London all the time.
Yeah.
But
the Cockney accent's a bit of a strange thing, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, I mean, but H's are one of those things that you sort of can do without. I mean, it's hospital, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh, Smooth dropped out and come back again.
Yeah.
Smooth little twinnies.
Everyone's having turns with that, yeah.
Yeah.
32, they're doing updates on the system. That's what that is. We had a series of them before.
Yeah.
Sergeant Bone says in German we would say it like Vince would.
Right.
And Mickle Pickles says, I'm just going to sit here and puts his finger in his ears, la 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 la. Yeah, I must admit, we have got several American viewers at the moment, so.
That's actually quite funny what Sergeant Bone is saying there. Funny thing, Vince, a dragon is called a lindworm. Over here, a lintworm is an intestinal worm, mate. So yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Germany are intestinal worms. That's bad news.
Well, if you get one of them wrong, then yeah.
Intestinal dragon.
You can imagine the talk when Lord of the Rings came out, and it's like, we want a lintworm. Are you sure? You're really sure? You want me to create a CG lintworm?
It's quite cool because if I literally translated it to English, it means ribbonworm. Tapeworm. That's it literally. Well, lint is
like a tapeworm then.
It's ribbonworm.
Yeah, that's what we call a tapeworm, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But we give it a sort of cutesier name, I suppose it is.
Just in case you want to keep one as a
horrible creature.
If you look at a sea horse, it's kind of dragon-like, but it's kind of wormy as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sort of outnumbered here as well because Fox is saying because Southerners aren't correct, Northerners speak right. So,
well, Southerners do tend to put R's in words that aren't there. It's like I'm going for a bath.
Bath, yeah.
B-A-R-T-H, bath.
Yeah, it's not bath, is it?
It's bath.
It's bath.
It's bath.
2 F.
Bath.
Yeah.
That's bath.
An old word for dragon is worm.
Yeah. Is that the Welsh one, though?
Yeah, nowadays that word does make a comeback, but in World of Warcraft and Warhammer and stuff like that, it does make a comeback, the word. But it usually means an infant dragon in that case, right? That hasn't developed wings yet.
Well, the Welsh have the dragon as their sort of mascot, isn't it? And that's what they call it, the worm. Aye. It's Welsh.
There's a I don't know if it's a book or a film called The Lair of the White Worm, which is spelt in the same way.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, it's normally taken to be the sort of arty way of calling a dragon, isn't it? It's sword and sorcery type.
I've seen the title. It's not something I've ever read or seen, so I never knew it was about a dragon. I just
that's why you get, because of the way gaming, especially fantasy games use it. It's quite often an infantile or a subspecies of dragon that doesn't have.
Yeah, I suppose maybe. Spruglu says another word for dragon is mother-in-law. That's 3 words.
Hey, my mother-in-law was absolutely lovely. I know it's an odd thing, but she really was. She was actually nicer than the bloody wife.
Is she watching this?
Is she standing
my
behind
wife?
you?
No, she's no longer with us, sadly.
Oh,
No, she was a lovely woman. She was originally from Granton-on-Spey, up this way.
oh, my
Ever
wife
so
was up that way.
Fox says, in other news,
Now, that's
worm
the
is just the
place.
best word.
Worm, yeah.
Worm.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a lot of things.
I'm surprised. How are the ants doing, Vincent? Talking about worms.
Oh, fine. They did something really weird yesterday. 2 of them came out carrying brood. It's like, what are you doing? Get back in there.
Maybe they were taking them out for a walk in their prams.
Yeah, it's like, what
Yeah.
what are you doing with that?
Maybe they're sort of
Maybe it
stealing
was
them.
cradle snatchers.
Yeah, one of them was because the colony now has 1 major, because it's like 10 times the size of any other ant. Well, except for the
A
queen,
major
which is,
now.
like massive compared to the workers. And
And
then
does
Have you caught any of them, Adam?
running around. What?
Does he stand shouting out orders to the rest of them?
He looks like he should be.
You need to get some photographs, Vince.
I don't know about photographs. We want a 24-hour live
Get a picture.
webcam stream.
I got a picture of him last
I
night.
think that could be interesting.
Because it's a small species of ants, right? So without seeing the normal size worker ants, the major doesn't really look that big like it does with certain species. But compared to,
Well, then you need a live cam next to it with a tape measure.
The problem with that is you don't like light.
no, you just need the normal worker ants to be running around as well.
I think Fox has
Just
lost it. He's just saying worm, worm, worm now.
Worm. Oh, Fox likes his earworms with his music, doesn't he?
5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, have you picked up on that?
Oh, damn it!
Yeah, Fox is asking Vincent when will we get ant cam.
When there's enough of them that they're constantly out, because now and again it's like in spurts that they start like they'll run around for half an hour and then head along back to the nest, because there's not that many still.
Well, that's all right. I'm sure you still get viewers even if they're not doing anything. People will watch anything. People watch my stuff. Your ant cam would be
Yeah, you're about the same scale, aren't you? Like ants, so yeah.
exactly right. Yeah, about the same level of interest as well. But
They'll be in the charts next.
You know, the moment we go off air, Teddy, you're next.
I'm next to my. Oh, cheers, mate.
talking about going off air, I think we're going to go off air because it's been an hour and a half, which
Is that already? Bloody hell.
that's a long way. It wasn't for you because you came in late.
All right, okay. 5 minutes.
He's got it, mate.
Having fun.
I used to say this was going to be an hour long, but it never worked out. It always seemed to go for an hour and a half. So it's been an hour and a half. Fox says, do we need to club together to buy Vincent a great big fish tank to force him to make a proper paludarium?
Paludarium, yeah.
Paludarium, an actual thing. But if it's a fish tank, wouldn't they all drown?
No, but the idea behind the paludarium is, right, you would get a mound of earth in the middle, which is in a glass bait. You would get an aquarium in an aquarium, basically, a lower one, right?
Sounds fishy.
Well, a nice little two-tier
On
effect.
it, you would have an island with soil and a bit of plant life on which the ants live, and then around it you would have water, sort of like a streaming river with fish in it.
Be on there wee water skis and that, and wee boats, and
It would be, a living collection of animals, and because of the water, they can't get out. That's the idea behind it.
Fox says, keep going, could run another hour yet. He's obviously still got a long way to go before he gets to the planet that he's aiming for.
Fast forward when you're travelling.
Sorry, you dropped out there, Speed, or at least for me.
I'm just saying, from everything that Fox says about this game, I don't think he actually plays anything. I think he just sits and watches the scenery as he flies around.
Pretty much. Well, there isn't any scenery. It's in deep space. It's the scenery is the occasional star going past quite slowly. But it is very deep and easy to get lost in. You can spend hours just doing it.
Because it's like a trading game, isn't it? You take resources to one planet and try and sell it for another and avoid all the pirates and yeah.
Zedster says, just remembered, I have a model question for Fox, so I'll save that for Sunday. Save it for Monday, in fact, to be the better bet. But
He tends to waffle a lot on Sundays.
yeah. If it's a model-related question, save it for models. We need time to kill that. The Sundays he'll just talk about hamsters and stuff.
And you know, Daddy will confirm I'm an expert at waffling, so I'll.
You need the novelty of actually answering a model-related question.
Well, the waffles are all made in Belgium, aren't they?
I'm being phoned, so I'm gonna shoot off a bit earlier.
Yeah, well, we're all going to go anyway. So thanks for joining us, Vincent, and thanks indeed, Terry and Spid.
Thank you.
Cheers,
for
guys.
joining in. I was a little bit worried today that I was going to be sitting here talking on my own for 90 minutes. So thank you for coming in.
Well, I would have been earlier if it hadn't been for the panic shopping, but
No, we'll let the shopping go yet. So thanks for everybody that's been watching. 29 viewers as well. I think that might be a record, about up to
Stuff.
30. So yeah. Thanks for coming in. See you next week. As I say, there won't be a War Hamster late show on Sunday because I'm going to be in Telford during the day, and I'm not going to feel like doing anything when I come home. I'll come back and go back to sleep. But Fox will still have his at 3 o'clock because he's not going to Telford. So I believe he's still on at 3 o'clock.
I hope you enjoyed Telford. I will try to get there one year, hopefully next year.
Yeah, next year you'll have to have the North Party come down.
Yeah. Actually, I have to try and arrange something, and I could maybe pick Terry up on the way down or something like that.
I'm not a good passenger.
You know.
Well, he was going to put you in the trailer on the back anyway. It's fine. But
I mean, I'll be stuck with Colin, Daddy. So you know, I mean, to say
I'm not a good passenger. I prefer to be in control of the vehicle, whether it be 2 wheels or 4.
Yeah. Ted says, well done. See you in Telford.
In this weather, but no, I'm sure we could sort something out anyway. Because I've been fancying going for the last few years. It's just like I say, it's just such a big thing to organise.
It's always nice to meet people in the flesh when they get there as well. So yeah. Fox says he might do the evening show instead, so he might nick my slot because so stay tuned on the Model Making Guru channel for his Warhammer. Not War Hamster, that's mine. You can't have that. And that's it. So thanks for joining in, and thanks for watching, and see you same time, same place next week.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Cheers, guys. Bye now.
Catch you later.